David Hooper, Build a Big Podcast, and I've got good news for Macintosh users. Today, Audacity 2.4 was released. To load it up on your Macintosh, as simple as clicking on it. The first time you load it, it says, do you give this program permission to use your microphone? You say yes, and then you are good to go. If you're not familiar with this situation, for the last year, Audacity has not worked directly on a Macintosh. I mean, you can load it up on your Mac, but you've got to do it through a program called Terminal. It's not a huge deal, but it's definitely nice to be able to click on files, have them load up, click on the program, have it load up, and you can do that now with the new Audacity. There's also an update for Windows, Linux, Audacity 2.4. Let me go over some of the big things that have changed in this version. For one, speaking of big, there is a big timer. Not huge, it's not like Pro Tools, but it's twice as big as it was. And if you were somebody who's doing a podcast and you've got a 10-minute episode, it's going to make it easier for you to keep track of how long you're going. This is great for when I'm in the radio studio and I've got a guest, a producer, the engineer there, and we need to make notes and we need to know what segment we're on of the episode, because we record in 3 13-minute segments. So we can do the math and say, all right, we got segment 1, segment 2, segment 3, segment 4. We know where things are within the episode, and we know when we need to wrap it up. Specifically, I know where I am in the episode, and I know where I need to wrap it up, because the guests, don't bother your guests with that stuff, but this is a good opportunity for you to keep track of it. Anyway, the timer, twice as big on the new Audacity. That's a nice setting. You can export effect settings. For example, on the graphic EQ, I've got what I call plosive repair. It takes out those plosives when they come through. And if I want to share that with you, I can do that. I can export it. I can email it to you. And if you're interested in that, reach out to me. David's plosive repair for Audacity. It makes things very nice. You just do the graphic EQ, highlight where the plosive is, hit the button, it's gone. Some of the mute commands are different. Scrubbing, if you're into that, you can do that with keys. One of the things you may be interested in if you're doing long form audio where RMS, which is basically, as I understand it, like a leveling check. You can manage RMS now, check on where your RMS is to know how hot your recording is. Look, I don't know. I'm not an audio engineer. All I know is this. When I was working on my audiobook, that's a thing. I've got 10-something hours of finished audio, and the level has to be there. I can't have sections that are too hot. Things can go wrong the longer your audio is. So if you're one of those people and you're worried about something like RMS, you can check that in Audacity. Speaking of, I recorded this entire audiobook, and it's called Big Podcast. It's about podcasting, so it does apply to you. Recorded the whole thing in Audacity. That's how much I believe in this program. It's a great program. It did me right. If you want to hear it, bigpodcast.net/audiobook. You can check that out. There's a sample you can listen to for free. As a matter of fact, if you join Audible with the trial, if you're not a member, you get the book free. You can cancel if Audible doesn't work for you. So check it out. bigpodcast.net/audiobook. Something else that is new to Audacity 2.4, got a noise gate. This is something that I normally do when I'm recording in the Red Room via hardware. The DBX286S has a gate on it that I use. It's nice because I just go in and I don't have to worry with it. The issue with that is sometimes the gate can cut things off if you don't have it set correctly. This noise gate in Audacity will allow you to do that gate in post-production, so you can record everything raw, which is what I'm doing right now because I don't normally record on a Mac, and I wanted you to hear the full experience of Macintosh 2.4 Audacity. You can record raw. You can change the gate up. If it's too much, take it away. It won't affect your files. If it's too little, add to it. So it's going to give you a little bit more flexibility. It's got a noise gate. I've not tried it out yet, but if you're somebody who's breathing heavily, a gate will make your life a whole lot easier. You can check that out. Free, built in, Audacity 2.4. The whole thing is free. and it's a very powerful system. That's one of the reasons that I love Audacity. As I mentioned, I use Pro Tools. I've got better software, Adobe Audition, but Audacity is my preferred way to record podcasts. One of the reasons is I like the attitude of it. I like free software. I mean, obviously, we want software to be good, but like podcasting, how cool is it that people come together and they create a system and they create products that you can get for free? You can donate to it. I certainly do. It's very empowering to me. If you want to check it out, audacityteam.org. It's perfect for a simple podcast, something like this, a monologue, or you've got a co-host. Throw in a little music. If you're working with just a few tracks, maybe 5-6 tracks, you're good to go. audacityteam.org. Thank you for listening to Build a Big Podcast. If you have not subscribed, bigpodcast.com/subscribe. That way you will never miss an episode. I've got some good ones coming up for you, and I will see you on the next one of Build a Big Podcast. See you then.